Hello Kitty Queens and Kitty Beauty Tees. I'm back at y'all with another client tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing y'all how I filmed this look, so if you're interested, just keep watching. So first I'm going to start off by cleaning my model's face, and if you're a regular on my channel, you probably seen her many of times, so it should come as no surprise now that she is one of my models. And I'm going to be brushing out her eyebrows. We're doing the feathered eyebrow again, so I'm just taking some of my Got To Be Glue gel, and I'm just going to be running it through her eyebrows using my spoolie. Now I'm going to be taking some makeup remover on a Q-tip, and I'm using it to clean up any excess gel that is left around her eyebrows. You can use makeup remover or you can use alcohol, whichever one works for you. Now I'm going to be taking my Nicka K eyebrow pencil, and it's in the shade dark brown, and I'm just using it to fill in any sparse areas that I see. Then I'm going to go in with the spoolie side to make sure that it's blended. I don't know why she be side-eyeing me like that, y'all, but whatever. Her eyebrows are pretty thick, so I don't really have to go in with too much of my pencil. To clean up under her eyebrows, I'm going to be using my RK by Kiss concealer and my e.l.f. hydrating concealer. And I left this clip in here so y'all can see what I go through, because y'all need to witness this. This child is so hard-headed, y'all. She cannot be still, and she's so goofy. Like, all she do is laugh throughout the whole tutorial. But to clean up under her eyebrow, I'm taking the lighter concealer, which was the e.l.f. one, and I just use it to clean up under her arch. Then I take the RK by Kiss one and use it to clean up the remainder of the way. Since this is a feathered brow, we do not have to clean up the top, we only have to clean up the bottom. Now I'm going to buff out that concealer using my buffing brush. Y'all, there isn't a brand name on this buffing brush. I know I purchased it from the beauty supply store, but I had it for a while, so it doesn't have a brand name on it. So unfortunately, I cannot tell y'all what this is. But to prime her eyes, I'm using that same RK by Kiss concealer that I used to clean up under her eyebrows. And I'm just going to be applying it all over her eyelids using this flat brush. Then I'm going to blend it out using that same buffing brush that I used to blend out under her eyebrows. For today's tutorial, I'm going to be using a palette that one of my beautiful subscribers sent me. This is what her brand packaging looks like. It's called RoH Cosmetics, and this is what the actual palette looks like. Excuse mine, I got makeup on it. This is the color scheme of the palette. As y'all can see, it's stunning. And the first shade I'm going to be taking is that brown shade that's in the middle. And I'm just going to be taking this on a blending brush and just buffing this over her eyelids. I wanted this to be a soft look, so I didn't really have to pack this color on. But next I'm going to be taking this shade right here, and I'm just going to be working it into her crease. Once I have that color worked in, I'm going to be going over it again with whatever eyeshadow is left on that blending brush, just to make sure the edges are well blended out. Then I'm going to take this shimmering white shade from the palette, and I'm just going to be applying this all over her lids. Since this is a no-cut crease look, it does not have to be neat whatsoever. But to apply this color, I'm using my e.l.f. eyeshadow brush. Now I'm going to be taking some brown eyebrow pomade, and I believe this is from the brand Snatched Squad, and I'm using this to line her eyes. I'm just taking it on an angle brush, and this liner does not have to be neat just because I'm going to end up buffing out the edges using a dark brown eyeshadow. So yeah, it does not have to be neat. Now I'm going to be taking this dark brown shade from the palette. I tried to point it out, but I don't know what happened. But I took that dark brown shade at the top, and I'm just going to be using it to buff out her liner. Once the liner is all buffed and blended, it should look something like this. And I wanted to add a little bit of detail since this was her birthday look. So I decided to add some crystals. As you can see, I'm just adding little dots of glue along the eyeshadow. And for glue, I'm using my Eye Envy Clear Eyelash Glue. You can find it at your local beauty supply store. And then I'm just going to stick the crystals on one by one. This look was so pretty, y'all, and so beginner friendly. We were actually inspired to do this by a picture she had sent me, and it came out so bomb. So for lashes, I decided to go in with 25mm lashes, and I cut them to fit her eyes. So right here, I'm just measuring out, make sure I cut them properly. And before I apply them to her eyes, I'm going to be cleaning up whatever eyeshadow fallout she has on her face. And I take my time with this step because, like I told y'all in a recent tutorial, she has light skin, so whatever eyeshadow you do not clean off of her face will bleed through her foundation, and you do not want that. But right here, I'm just going in with some moisturizer, and for moisturizer, I like to use my Pond's moisturizer, the one that comes in the blue bottle. So now that the lashes are nice and tacky, I'm just going to be applying them to her eyes. And I got these lashes off AliExpress. I normally get all of my lashes off AliExpress unless they're sent to me in a PR package. And I have different vendors on AliExpress, so unfortunately I can't give y'all like one specific name, but I would recommend y'all just try out as many as you can because that's what I like to do. But I'm just applying these to her eyes, and then I'm going to have her open them so I can make sure none of the glue was transferred to the bottom of her lash line. Now I'm going in with her foundation, and for foundation I like to use the Fit Me foundation, the matte and poreless one, and I'm just taking the shades 322 and 228. First I'm taking the shade 322 and I'm just going to be working it around her perimeter. As you can see, I like to apply it with that Real Technique brush first, and then I blend it out using my Real Technique sponge. Now I'm taking the shade 228 and I'm just working it in the inner portions of her face, and I'm going to be blending it out with that same Real Technique sponge. To contour, I'm using my black opal foundation stick, and it's in the shade Beautiful Bronze. As y'all know, I like to take this on the cheekbones and the forehead. I really don't have to contour her jawline because she naturally has like a contour jawline, so I don't really see a point of doing that. Now I'm just going to blend out the contour, and to blend it out, I'm using the same side of my Real Technique sponge that I used to blend out the foundation, just so it can all mesh together well and be as seamless as possible. I tell y'all this in every video, so if you don't take any other tip, please take this one. Once the contour is all blended out, I'm just going to be highlighting, and to highlight, I'm using that e.l.f. concealer that I used to clean up under her eyebrows. I believe it was in the shade Medium Peach, and I'm just applying it to the inner portions of her face, so the chin, the forehead, bridge of the nose, under eyes. I let it sit for like 10 seconds, and then I blended it out using my Real Technique sponge, and I flipped my sponge to a clean side just so I didn't drag any of that contour shade onto the highlight. And when you blend out anything on your model's face, you want to make sure you're as gentle as possible, especially if you're using a sponge, because if you're rough, the sponge will soak up more of the product and you'll have to apply more. So make sure you're gentle, make sure you take your time so that you do not have any harsh or patchy areas. To set her highlighted areas, I'm using my Derma Blend Loose Translucent Face Powder. Oh, that's such a long name, but I'm only taking a small amount of this powder because even though it says it's translucent, I feel like a lot of translucent powders can give you flashbacks, so I only like to take a thin amount, and I'm just pressing it into her skin. My girl knew she was cute, y'all, period. But now I'm taking my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish, and it's in the shade Dark Deep, and I'm just using this to set her contoured areas. To set the remaining areas of her face, I'm using my Fit Me pressed powder, and it's in the shade Coconut. As you can see, I'm taking it on that same brush that I used to set her contour, and I'm making sure I apply this powder on the edge of her contour as well as the edge of her highlight, just to make sure everything is meshed together well. Now I'm adding a small amount of blush to the apples of her cheeks. So I'm gonna have her smile and just tap it on there, and as y'all can see, I'm using the same brush. Like, I love this brush. This brush and my Real Technique sponge, they're like my favorite duo. And I contoured her nose, so now I'm just blending out the lines. And period. Y'all see the face, y'all see it. Now I'm just lining her waterline using my black gel liner, and I use the liner, it's the brand S.h.e. You can find it at the beauty supply store, and I like to take it on a Q-tip just because I feel like it makes lining your waterline so much easier. Once the waterline is lined, I'm going to be taking this shade from the palette and I'm just going to be sweeping it on her lower lash line. Now I'm going to be drowning her face using my setting spray, and I use the setting spray from the brand Studio Selection, but I put it in my Max Fix Plus bottle just because I like the way that bottle sprays. And now I'm just fanning it using a packaging from one of my palettes. I don't know, girl, use whatever you can find. But I put mascara on her bottom lashes off camera, and she's supposed to be looking up, but y'all know she hard-headed. But anyway, I'm just fanning the mascara in place, and I have them look up while I'm fanning it just because if they look down, then the mascara will transfer on their foundation, and that's what we do not want. Now I'm taking some individuals because y'all know she loves individuals on her bottom lash line, and I'm just going to be sticking them on. The individuals I use are from the brand I Envy, and I like to use the short knotless ones. You can find them at your local beauty supply store, but I just applied 2 on each eye. I'm going to be taking that shimmering white shade from the palette that I used on her eyes, and I'm just going to be using it to highlight her face. So first I'm applying it to the tip and to the bridge of her nose using that eyeshadow brush. Then I'm going to be taking a blending brush. This one is from Morphe. I believe it's the E27, but I don't know. I'll have it in the description box. But I'm going to be using it to highlight the apples of her cheeks. And I wanted you to see the highlight, but I didn't want it to be blinding. I just want to add, you know, like a little natural glow. So I just took a small amount of this. And this is what her face is looking like. We're on the last step, y'all. It's time to do these lips. So for her lips, I took my clear lip gloss from Snatched Squad and my Absolute New York liquid lipstick. First, I'm going to line her lips using one of my Nicka K lip liners. I believe it's in the shade, I think the shade name is just brown, y'all. Like, it's either light brown or dark brown, but I'll have it in the description box. But I'm going to go ahead and outline her lips first, and I'm doing an ombre lip. So I outline the lips first, and then I go back in and fill in the edges. And I wanted her lips to look, you know, real juicy. So I did overline them just a little bit. Now I'm going to be taking that liquid lipstick and applying it to the center of her lips, and this is in the shade Toasted. I'm going to focus this color in the center and then take whatever excess of the liquid lipstick is left on the lip wand and just apply it directly onto her lip liner just to further blend it out. And once I have the color down, I'm going to be going in with that clear gloss and applying it on top. Once the lip gloss is all applied, this is basically the finished look, and we're getting into the grand reveal, so I'm just gonna let y'all watch.
It's the bad bitch for me.
Period.
Oh, you did it good. Shit on these hoes.
Oh. So as y'all can see, this video was another success. She loved her look, and if you would like to see more videos from this look, feel free to follow me on Instagram. All information will be in the description box. Don't forget to follow her and shop with RoH Cosmetics. But this is the end of the tutorial. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for my next one. Bye bye.